Well, it is deja vu, everybody. We are back talking about Steam and about their payment processors, mainly, obviously, Visa and Mastercard. Now, 2 days ago, I made a video actually talking about this. Yeah, you see, essentially just a few days ago, Steam did update their policy, basically showing that they do have to follow the rules and regulations of their payment processors. Specifically, in-game content for the games that are on their platform have to abide by these rules. Now, what are these rules? And why are they posting this just now? Well, that's not necessarily confirmed, but people had made quite a good guess that maybe it's a lot of these adult games that were targeted. You know, maybe these payment processors, they didn't like these shady, not so family-friendly games and the content that was in them. Yeah, up until now, it's kind of all been speculation, but yeah, this was a good guess because some of these adult games started basically getting delisted, taken off of the Steam store kind of without explanation. Well, it turns out there is an update to this. Valve has actually come out and confirmed that yes, this is true. They were the ones that took these games off the platform, and yes, it is because of the payment processors and their rules. Now, it's kind of weird this isn't on Valve's X account or Steam's Twitter, you know, anything like that. This is actually coming from a website called GamingOnLinux, but it's not just like an alleged source or anything. This is actually Valve giving an official statement to that website. This was just yesterday, Thursday the 17th, that they gave this statement. So here is the statement right here. So Valve said, "We were recently notified that certain games on Steam may violate the rules and standards set forth by our payment processors and their related card networks and banks, and as a result, we are retiring those games from being sold on the Steam store because loss of payment methods would prevent customers from being able to purchase other titles and game content on Steam." Now, that last part is very concerning to me. That part really sticks out. This basically 100% says, at least to me anyway, that Steam would not have removed these games had it not been for the payment processor's influence. They said, "We are retiring these games from being sold on the Steam store," but they didn't say, "Oh, because we think that they're wrong or they shouldn't be on our platform." They actually said, "Because we don't, well, basically want to lose our payment processors and then make it more difficult for customers to pay for other types of games." This is concerning. Payment processors now have quite a bit of an influence on the gaming ecosystem, at least in Steam. And yes, it's just these adult games. Yes, maybe you're thinking, okay, who cares about some, a weird adult 18 plus games? I don't play that, so it doesn't affect me. Well, I don't know, not necessarily. I mean, who knows how deep this is going to go? Are they going to start delisting, Grand Theft Auto because of the mean things you do in the game? I don't know if it would ever go that far. I just, that's an example of how this could actually creep into more quote-unquote mainstream games. It is also worth mentioning that the reason that a lot of these payment processors may have started to recently have a problem with these adult games on Steam is due to this petition or call to action by an organization from Australia called Collective Shout. This was issued just 1 week ago from today, and it is alleging that some of these game sales are not good because the games themselves contain a lot of disturbing material that is not appropriate for anyone. So the big red flag for the payment processors, or maybe just the big red flag for Steam before the payment processors even saw it, was likely that sentence on the bottom there that says, "We, the undersigned, are writing to request that you cease processing payments on gaming platforms which host games with this type of material." Yeah, it's likely that Steam just maybe saw this and proactively took the approach of saying it's not worth the risk of Visa or Mastercard getting cold feet on our whole Steam platform, so maybe that's why they just removed these games right away. Or the other route, maybe this actually did come to the attention of Mastercard and Visa, and they issued a statement to Steam, and that's why they took it off. I don't know what came first, but, as with all things, I guess there are two sides to it. On one hand, this is very concerning, especially for the consumer, and this is kind of more on the field that I side with. Censorship like this due to an outside source that has nothing to do with Steam is scary. Today it's adult-themed games, but tomorrow it's just maybe games that, I don't know, create enough of an outcry where Visa and Mastercard are just going to say that it's not worth it. That's scary, and I don't know. I don't agree with that. On the other hand, Visa and Mastercard, at the end of the day, they just want to make as much money as possible. And And because of that, they do want the least amount of government influence. Now, ironically, what I'm getting at is that maybe they were influenced by this whole call to action because they want to be able to show the government that they can self-regulate before the government would have to step in. Either way, it is definitely a messy situation, one that probably does not have a perfect solution. To me, though, this is quite concerning. As I said, today it's adult games, tomorrow, who knows?